Hey, how you all doing? Come on in. Let's hang out for a bit. I thought we'd just tap into the energy in play right now. See how we can flow with it most harmoniously. And I felt really drawn to look at it from an elemental perspective, to open up for our week here. Thank you for being understanding with the delays last week with the uploads. It kind of threw off my schedule for a bit, but you know, it's okay. I've learned to just go with the flow when you get thrown curveballs, right? So take it easy. There's no stress. You just got to do your best with what shows up on the scene. And when you do get thrown a curveball, it very well could be because maybe there's another way you're meant to put that time to use that just got freed up in an unexpected way. Okay, this energy coming in. Let's see what elements are in play with the Infinite Tarot. Ooh, I like it. See, yeah, maybe you just need to dream a little bit, need to dream on. Dream until the dream comes true. All right, we've got 6 of water coming in here with fantasy. So this is very much about dipping into that Tunian frequency. And I do think that it's quite harmonious to do so at this time, especially with the transit of Jupiter in Cancer. It does bring fulfillment. It does bring blessings for everybody, really, across the board, even if you have to kind of go through some rough terrain before you get to receive the fruits of the journey, you could say. There's still something for everybody here that is the sweetness of the bloom. That is what's on offer here. And I think we're really getting the memo that it's time to start fantasizing maybe a bit about that unfurling process. Fantasize about the sweetness of the bloom and its heady fragrance and what it would feel to sort of be seated in that instead of seated among the thorns, you know? It's not very comfortable. It's not very comfortable. Also, there's a transformation underway. Butterfly medicine continues to come in, and that's also not just the medicine of transformation and being freed from the holding pattern, or you could say the hangman status of being in a chrysalis state, but actually getting your wings so you can be carried to new places, carried to new heights. And also there's a little bit of another kind of medicine within the butterfly that we often don't look at. And that's the aspect that once it emerges from the cocoon, that magic moment, it only lasts so long. So it's very special. It's very precious. And it's a very rare gift that most of us, you know, we take that for granted. We take that for granted. And so there's something about imbibing a little bit of that wisdom of the butterfly and understanding that these moments that we have are really precious. And we never know how many moments we get, right? We don't know how far into our allotment we are, or if we can power up, maybe get some bonus points, you know? So you really want to make sure that you're extracting the ojas, that nectar of life, that amrita from every experience that crosses your path. See if you can bring a little bit of that focus in, just viewing each moment as if it were your last. If it were your last moment, how would you be taking in the experiences around you? There's something about holding a bit of reverence around what may have been viewed irreverently in the past. And this is a little bit of a key. But there's also this need to be able to waken the dreamer. And this transformational process is underway right now. It's reminding me of a previous download from a while ago, so I'll have to link it, Learning to Fly. And I feel that's the energy coming in. We're learning to fly even as we're preparing to emerge. And there's this piece of this too, to really almost embrace the flight before it's time to spread the wings. Embrace the moment that comes before that takeoff point. There's been something really coming through recently about that there's so much that needs to be acknowledged right now where you're at, and there's so much that needs a certain kind of reverence or respect held around it, an appreciation of it that currently isn't seen. Something that is better seen now than in hindsight. And so these details coming in, but there is some kind of movement coming in here through the ethereal and through fantasy and through one's dreams and that Neptunian territory. Also, life may take on a bit of a fantastical tone. There might be things that are happening, flows of synchronicity you're finding yourself in, and once you're in that stream of consciousness, life takes on a very different tone. You notice the more you're noticing the synchronicities, the more they come in, and the more all of life is starting to communicate with you. Especially if you did drop in with the last download that I brought in that was all about waking the dreamer within and embracing the waking dream by stepping into it actively dreaming, recognizing that really the two different states of consciousness aren't so different at all. Just when you're sleeping and you dream, it's the subconscious aspects of yourself come more to the forefront and let you know certain things that you're not paying attention to, that you need to bring more attention to. But when you're awake, when your eyes are open and you're out and about in your daily life, it's your opportunity to take that subconscious material and to actualize it in a cathartic way that brings about transformation in your life. And that's when you really see the magic happening, when you really understand that your consciousness is the motherboard of creation here. Oh yes, you see? It's what gets your coordinates on lock. It's also what has you mastering the directions, the elemental directions, and working with them harmoniously. We got Sky family coming in here, Sky Spirit activation. So we continue to get messages about looking to the sky, about connecting with above a little bit more to prepare to root it below. Messages coming in from the birds, messages coming in through the weather patterns, messages coming in through cloud formations, messages coming in on the wind, on the airwaves, stuff that's broadcasting, what you're hearing on the radio, conversations you're overhearing, energy you're tapping into. That's when you're tapping into more of the ether quality. There's a lot coming in here. So pay attention. This is also when there's something trying to get through to you, but you have to create the openness in order to be able to hear it. In order to be able to get the memo, you have to bring yourself present for it. You can't really do it when you're distracted. It's good to take some breaks from technology. It's good to get outside. It's good to just even take a moment to look away from the screen, and also to look away from some of the stuff that you've been tuning into frequently that you notice doesn't make you feel so hot afterwards. I was thinking about this recently. It's kind of funny, but I almost feel like, I kept seeing all this stuff is showing up in the algorithm out, gang stalking. And I was like, why is this inundating the algorithm? If everybody's out there focusing on what everyone else is doing or taking everything that anybody else does personally, how do we ever expect to get ourselves right or even enter into a receptive space? That's like people are going to be walking around feeling guarded, feeling they don't have any privacy, feeling like there's always some kind of hostile energy out there. And I thought, man, that is a psyop. That is a psyop for real, man. to just have people continue to have this kind of programming like shoved in their face over and over and over again. So I started just like straight up, just like unfollowing those posts. Like don't send that into my feed, like programming my own feed. But what was interesting is the more that I said, don't recommend this to me, not interested, don't recommend, not interested, the more it showed it to me. And I'm like, oh, isn't that funny? I'm like, so is it the artificial intelligence that's gang stalking to hijack the higher intelligence? Is that what's going on? And I just kept saying, don't recommend this channel, don't recommend this post, not interested, and I thought it was really pretty fascinating, actually, because I know that the media is used in that way. I know that social media is a form of programming. The algorithm is a form of programming. And I just found it fascinating. I just really found it fascinating. And then it's like you look, and so much of what's out there, if you start paying attention, maybe indulge in this little experiment, start paying attention when you're scrolling, how much of what is showing up in what you're scrolling is aligned to fear. Ask yourself, what is this algorithm showing me? Is it showing me hope? Is it showing me love? Is it showing me unity? Is it showing me proactive energy? Is it showing me growth? Is it showing me evolution? Or is it showing me fear? Is it showing me polarities? Is it showing me differences? Is it showing me problems? Is it showing me conflict? It's just something kind of interesting to have a little bit of a look at. Something fell on the floor here, so let me see what we got here. Water family, water spirit. Isn't that interesting? Look, this came in with sky family, sky spirit. So that's very curious because that just came in with the cardinal cross read and the mutable cross read, and the way there was the part about the air being reflected in the water. And we've had that message come in before. It's when there needs to be the nourishment of those qualities, that the nourishment of the ability to pull down from the ether and pull in those inspired thoughts and look at things in a different way and challenge our belief systems and invite in a different kind of perspective, be able to move out of sort of a fixed way or a programmed way or a habitual way of doing something, looking at something, experiencing something. And this really reminds me of that like Aquarian energy here, that water bearer energy. So it does bring in that vibe about this is what we really need to be nourishing here to reclaim the hope of the star here too. All right. So we got the spirits of air and water speaking to us very strongly right now about what's needed to bring hope, what's needed to bring transformation with the 10 of sky, what is meant to bring about the fulfillment. Or you could say that completion of that journey of transformation when you do get to see what's on the other side of that rainbow, what's on the other side of the storm. You may find your pot of gold. This could be coming in. Pots of gold. It also makes me think of leprechauns, which is a little bit of tricksy kind of energy, a little playful kind of energy too. And an energy that can provoke some riddles as well. And with that, we have King of Water coming in with Mask. Okay. So this is also about that piece that got brought in previous downloads about character development here and approaching life in a more sort of playful way and experimenting with integrating parts of yourself that maybe you kept hidden or tamped down for a while by, trying them on as a character and just experience what it's like to move through your life for a day, trying this particular character on for size. In some cases, that can be really cathartic if it allows you to see the perspective of somebody who maybe is the polar opposite of you, and there's some kind of bridge of division there. So that's an interesting way of looking at that. I'm seeing that, like a bridge over troubled water. Look, it looks like a rainbow bridge, you know. They can bring about a different kind of perspective. It makes me think of the star card, right? Let me see if I can get out like the traditional Rider-Waite depiction here, because I was noticing something about the star the other day. Yeah, wow, it's right on the top. How perfect is that? This must be, oh, right on the bottom of the deck there. We got the Ace of Wands. Okay, so yes, this is the message. This is something that is wanting to be activated. This is the key to getting that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. That is the Stargate as well. But I was noticing something about this card in particular the other day, and I was thinking about how it reminds me of the story of Echo and Narcissus. And I do believe that that was a Pisces download a while ago. So I will also link to that particular video as well. But there is something about this, right? When we're focusing on our healing and we're reflecting on our past and we're reflecting on experiences we've been through and we've been reflecting on ourselves, there can be a point when we have been contemplating our navel so much that it can become a bit self-indulgent. And it reminded me a bit of Narcissus staring at his own reflection. And it also called to mind, you know, when Friedrich Nietzsche said, if you stare into the abyss long enough, soon you'll find the abyss staring into you. And it's sort of recognizing, sort of like identifying too strongly with the self and the way that that can keep us from truly stepping into the light in terms of actualizing our life and what we're meant to do, instead of just being in this sort of like self-indulgence, only looking at our perspective. Because you're in a physical body for a reason. You're meant to have the stimulus of the world around you. It's also a bit of alchemical training. It lets you know how you're running your own energy. What are you able to pull in out of the ether? Are you working your path? Or are you kind of considering yourself just a helpless bystander in your life? And that can be a bit of being too reflective on one's experiences, like woe is me consciousness. You get lost in self-reflection. You get lost in your healing process. And I think we've all been there at times when we've been processing something really heavy. But there does come a point where you have to kind of like look up from that to even see the potential of hope, right? Because if you just get lost in your own personal experience, then you cut yourself off from the benefit of experience with community, experience with others, and experience of who are people that are joining you on your path now. What are you meant to create together? And ultimately, what is the collective dream as well here? So there's something about this piece coming in too, that's part of this bridge. You know, we can't stay in self-reflection all along. You know, there does come a point when those reflections have to be the stuff of nurturing the growth of the hope, right? Nurturing the growth of the hope. That reflection should teach us something about the seeds that we need to plant, what we need to do to water them, to help them grow. So yeah, I also see it as this too, like dropping too much self-identification to maybe also see the self in others through your own eyes. I'm also noticing this. It almost looks like a shield over the eye, or like a coat of arms. So I do feel like there is a vision here that needs to be preserved. And this is very important. Very important. There's some kind of powerful action that needs to be taken here. And that is absolutely the truth. We got the Queen of Swords right here, and right behind the Queen of Swords, look at that. We have the Four of Wands, and right behind that, we have the King of Swords. Potent. Ten of Wands right here with the Hangman. I think this is where we're at right now. Yeah. And that's what's keeping the sun at bay. That's what has us sitting on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Sitting on the dock of the bay, just wasting time, man. It's like, get on the road. You gotta have strength for the journey, okay? Where's your vim? Where's your vigor? Where's your passion, man? Oh, I got it all tamped up here. I got a lid on it. I won't share it with others. I won't nurture anything for others because I'm just thinking about what got spilled out for me back there. That's when we can get a little self-indulgent, okay? Spill it out, man. Spill it. You might need to spill it, okay? You might need to spill it. Page of Wands, King, not King. Well, maybe this is the King. Maybe this is who becomes the King. I can see that. This also looks like a little bit of a journey from the head to the heart because we did have that water spirit come in. We got King of Water. That would be a King of Cups energy progression here. If you spill it, man, if you spill it, if you take the action, you spill it, amazing what happens. Amazing how that's received, right? It's like the mask falls away. This communication comes in. You spill it, right? You get King of Cups to Queen of Cups. We also got Queen of Swords to King of Swords. See? So it's like you can't keep it up in the head. Wow. Yeah, there's the King of Cups right there. And I like it because there's a King of Wands right behind that King of Cups, okay? So this is interesting, yeah. I think there's contemplation of this, like the way I'm looking at it. This is interesting the way this is coming out. Yeah, somebody wants in. Now Mr. Ted wants in. Hold on a minute. I'm going to let him in. He always does this. But I'm going to pause and then I'll stitch this together. But that was meant to come in, okay? See, you see this energy here? It's like the King of Wands is contemplating taking an action to show some other individual they're sharing a journey with, a process with, some kind of appreciation, bring about some kind of alignment. But this is being viewed from an intellectual angle, and this is what's causing a lot of worry. It's what's causing a lot of stress. It's what's causing a lot of sleepless nights. What's needed is to, you know, put the fire in motion, right? Get it out of the head and move it into the heart, right? And that's what causes an evolution of the energy. It also warms up the other. They take the lid off their emotions as well. I see that too. They move out of the head into the heart. And that's what brings about, you know, the activation of the way through. It's a tower, man. It's an awakening moment. It's catharsis. It's disrupting for two. I see it, you know, it blows your mind. You never knew that that was the way through, but it is to make the fixed come unfixed with the world there and move it into the mutability of the Wheel of Fortune. This is the riddle that needs to be resolved. Okay, hold a minute. I'm going to come back at 23:44 on the clock. I'm going to come back. I'm going to get Mr. Ted in here. Okay, Ted's in. I mean, everything happens for a reason in a download, so I do feel like there's something about that. Somebody wants in. Looks like they find a way in. They find a way in, all right? And there's some kind of like healing. There's some kind of celebration here. I see it. It's like, cheers, we made it, okay? And it's justice. We got the Hierophant right after that. All right. So there is some kind of, yes, something's balanced here. It feels good. Truth. Okay. And this is what's going on right now, though. Talk about major blockage in relation to this with the Lovers in reverse. Okay. This is really being too caught up in the head. Look, it's like two are hanging. Two are the hangman here. They're totally blocking this. It's all blocked off right now. I don't really see that happening. anytime immediate. It looks like by the time the next, new moon rolls around, which, gosh, is just a few days from now, right? Yeah, in Virgo on the 23rd. You're going to have that new moon coming in, the first one. Still all blocked up, man, around this connection here, okay? All right, but I do feel like this is, again, it's edging up to that time of judgment when there's going to be some kind of renewal of energy, and the dead shall rise again. It's got those vibes, okay? It's very, like the crypt opening. I don't know why I got that kind of energy around it, but it's like, it's something that's been like closed for a long time, opening up again. And I think it's sort of like the anticipation of it is far more terrifying than the reality. That's how it's coming through, because it looks really good. I mean, we got a 10 of Pentacles here. That is legacy activation. That is 2 on the same page here. It looks good, and it looks like 2 fetches have really like been on this, to pull this off, to make this happen, pulling a little something out of the ether to remedy some kind of grief, some kind of loss, some kind of heartache, and bring about the montage moment and a certain kind of victory here. So I like this energy. King of Pentacles after that, okay? King of Pentacles after that. So it looks like we got kind of a journey going on here of integrating the 4 elementals. These are 2 that are integrating the lessons of the sword, the wand, the cup, and the pentacle. That's how you make an emperor. That's how you make an empress. Neither of those characters have shown up on this scene yet. That doesn't mean they won't. I feel like this is a process right now. This is 2 individuals separately in a very deep healing process, doing the work. I can also see it in another way. I mean, we certainly have a lot of court cards out here on the board. So we know we got air, we got fire, we got earth, we got water. We got everybody is out here involved in this process. It is a collective experience at this time. There's major things we're bringing to a close. We're bringing things to a close that betray us. And sometimes the things that betray us most are the ways that we betray ourselves, by not being true to our path, by not being true to who we are, by not letting others see that, by having these sort of rigid expectations that they won't accept who we truly are. And so that's how people start to wear masks instead of just genuinely being who they are. All right, well, that's a bridge. Let's have a look at that. Okay, bottom of the deck. Yes, just let it go, man. Let it flow with waterfall, 4 of water. Enter the waterway. Waterfalls are the medicine, effortless grace, just giving over, okay? Just giving over. Let it flow on. Yeah, there may be, some points when you hit the rapids a little bit, but give yourself over the current and trust where it's carrying you. You got to trust the water. That is foundational at this time. Trust your intuition. Trust how you're feeling about things. Let yourself feel what you feel about things. Whatever you feel, even if others judge what you feel is wrong, it's something that's integral to your experience and your integration process. And even if it is like slaying a former part of yourself that you recognize has betrayed the truth of who you are and what you're meant to step into, and has you playing, effing small. You don't need to play small. Be true to who you are. Show up as that. You don't need to hold yourself back anymore. It's not dependent on anybody's approval. And you'll come to see that more. But it's beautiful, because it's like once you arrive at this point of understanding, I feel like there's some kind of a compadre that shows up here. There's some kind of traveling companion. That it could be somebody who's around you right now that suddenly has a moment and goes, wait a minute, it was you. It was you all along. You were my traveling companion. How could I not see it? How could I not recognize it? It could be somebody that crosses your path that you wouldn't have even recognized before had you not had this experience. So whatever your experience is, and no matter what hey, no, don't do that, Bubba. Don't nod it. Yeah, you know, you got an itch. You can't just gnaw away at it, you know. Do something about it. Right? This piece coming in, there's kind of distractionary energy too, you know, and that's important to pay attention to. But yeah, Sky family, you know, a lot of that air energy coming in, inspiration, things that will seed the future, things you're meant to put in motion. And there's a sense of lightness around it, like just play with the energy a little bit. Look, and this is so beautiful. They're sharing here. Okay? They're sharing. So this is also about be willing to let that more like kind of carefree part of yourself out, or the hopeful part of you out that maybe you've tamped down for too long, just out of, you know, a byproduct of being an adult, you know, adulting for too long, that you forgot how to have fun, that you forgot how to be carefree, that you forgot how to just enjoy simple things, enjoy the moment. And let yourself share from a different place here. Okay? Let yourself share the parts of yourself that you've hidden, that's been coming through. We also got Earth Trade coming in. So there's also this piece coming in about a lot of you are starting to align with work where you're able to really have a strong foundation for yourself, where you're able to start building a nest egg. But you're also doing work that it feels like it's in harmony with your path too. Like you don't feel like you have to sell out, you know, in order to be able to create a firm financial foundation for yourself. Also, something about what you're doing, you feel like there's a way that it can give back to others too. So there's this perspective. There's also a lot of new ideas starting to sprout up in you in relation to what kind of work you want to do, what that looks like. Some of you want to be more mobile. Some of you want to have the freedom to be able to travel, to see other places, to connect with other communities. Some of you have some kind of ideas around sustainability. You want to contribute that. You want to share that. Some of you have ideas for a new kind of economy as well. You're starting to set that in motion on a communal level. Yes, and it is getting things going in the right direction here. It is reclaiming something here. Fire family coming through strong there. The work to be done, what we need to work on transforming here. We need to transform the economy, grassroots movements. How do we shift that? What does that look like? It starts within our own little microspheres. It starts with our own communities, and then we branch out from that. It's just the very beginning. It's just the seeds, right? But those seeds, they will go a long way to bringing about happiness, you know, on a level that serves the many, not just the few. Oh, and I like that. The reflection of that. Look at that energy. It kind of really expresses that very well. Like going back to the star here, right? Like the self-reflection. And then you have the sun here. And, you know, you turn a rainbow upside down and it looks like that cauldron of Dagda, but it also makes me think of that miraculous chalice that just is an inexhaustible source of nourishment for all, nourishes the dream, not just of one, but of the many, right? And it's also symbolic of the sun. It's also the star of Ishtar there. So when she rises and she becomes queen of the heavens after processing all that subconscious stuff, then, you know, she does very much enter that star gate. She's crowned by those stars. So I love this because there's this little crown of flowers on this babe that's on the horse. And you remind me of a babe with the power, okay? And this is what it makes me think of. It's the soul train, S-O-L train, all right? And this is a journey that is going to unfold over a period of time. It's usually a full turning of the wheel, but this is really a beautiful energy that's coming through there. It really exemplifies that quality there, that quality of growing, like this field of dreams. But we got to look at things in a new way, right? We got to look at things in a new way. We got to start fresh here. But there is a way to grow, a different kind of vision for the future. So I think people are starting to look at this a lot. And I think, let's go back to that AI for a moment. That's gotten people thinking about this a lot, because when you look at what isn't replaceable, all right, at the end of the day, truly, what isn't replaceable is humanity. Not really. It's all interconnected. I mean, sure, you can, get rid of humanity. There are some people that would prefer to see that go down. But if you do, then it's sort of like, well, we failed again. We failed again. And there are tales of the pursuit of power and how that has failed many times. Atlantis is an example of that. So the rise and the fall of civilizations often happens because there's some kind of greed or hunger for power. But that's the challenge that's posed by the Aquarian age, and the Plutonian aspect always comes into that. They come in tandem, all right? They're one and the same. So there's, yes, this opportunity for great expansion, but it does require footwork. It's not something that just happens on its own. You can't just be self-indulgent and just contemplating your navel, right? It's also allowing that power within you to be evident and to radiate out in the world through the work that you do, also how you share that power with others, how you bring it together with others, what you create to leave behind. Oh, I just wanted to pick this up. So I was going to say, leave behind this 10 of Swords here. And what's behind here? Well, the Magician. To activate the transformation that brings a beautiful balance of that power with that infinity symbol there. And there you got all the aces. See, it's the integration point. What's behind this Magician? Whoa, the Stargate, the Ace of Pentacles here, okay? So this is beautiful. I like the way this energy is opening up. But there is this real key right now to use the algorithm as a source of meditation in terms of letting it see how it's trying to program you. Those are the psyops that are in play right now. And social media is a really powerful platform for that conditioning at this time. So it's very interesting what happens, though, when you start experimenting with it a bit. You start saying, don't recommend this, don't recommend this, don't recommend this. Initially, what happens is it shows me more of it. I'm looking up at the sky, and there's like this Skeksis-looking character forming out of the clouds. The Skeksis have been coming in quite strongly lately from the dark crystal. And yeah, it's that kind of hoarding, greedy energy that does not want to see the growth for all. That is what's causing sort of the disruption. But you start taking away your focus or your attention from those forces. It's not a matter of whitewashing. It's an acknowledgement that this energy is there. Okay, but as long as you're sort of enamored by that glamour and that's what you're giving the focus of your energy, it prevents you from focusing on how you can use your own fire to create transformation in your life and certain actions you can take. It just gives over your consciousness to something outside of yourself. So start seeing what's showing up. What's showing up in your feed. Experiment with it a little bit. I do that sometimes, and it lets me know what I need to clear out. And I start clearing that stuff out of my feed. And then I start focusing on different things. I start looking up different things, and I notice it really change things. Like it changes the mindset. It changes the experiences you're having. It's pretty wild. All right, let me go ahead and get one more round of these here. Wow, it starts again where we first began with water, fantasy, 6 of water, fantasy. So yeah, we are meant to sort of allow ourselves to step into the awakened dream at this time, to play a little bit, role play a little bit, embrace the little fantasy, and just see if you can embrace that spirit of wonder and play you had when you were a kid and try it on as an adult. Okay, there is something about that coming through right now. 8 of fire, sunset. Yes. Yes, this is beautiful. So, crossing energy. We have this sunset card here, 8 of fire. So things are going to get moving here, but it's almost like calling in the vision of when that sun rises again, right? Because there's sunset and then there's sunrise. So this is the sunset phase we're in right now. If you harmonize that with the lunar cycle, we're in the waning cycle. So it's not time for the building of the new cycle yet. And there's been so much about this too. Sun, moon synergy, you know, knowing when to move into action and when to reflect and integrate and also dream. Dreaming is a way to actively use your fire in a way where it's really merged with the water elemental. Imagining and just sort of visioning your future and maybe working with it creatively. If you feel drawn to do that, make a vision board or any other playful, creative way you choose to map it out, as well as process what you're releasing here too. Just letting yourself dance it out, all the stress, all the tension, all the questions, all of it. Just, you know, allow the energy to get out of the body and move. And then you'll be surprised how a lot of insight comes in. You're very much guided to your next steps. This is something that's going to get set in motion. October seems like the month when a lot of stuff starts to shift. I feel like at that place also kind of between like October and the start of December's, like October, November, I think will be an important time for both integration and seeing the new path sort of like lit up, or how things are shifting, how things are transforming, how things are changing. But allow yourself to savor the sunset too. Like that message has been coming through so strongly. Like the way something ends is the way it begins and vice versa. So it's important to be very present with these experiences as well. Like don't be in such a rush. Like there's beauty in the sunset, just like there's beauty in the sunrise. All right, we've got a whole bunch that came out there. Also crossing energy. Yeah. 7 of water, poetry. See, there's a lot about just expressing oneself at this time. You got firewood with waterfall. See, to get things cooking, you know. In order to get things cooking, you need the fire and you need the water. And so this is a beautiful energy here. Coming in with the number 44. So I do feel like 44, 444. That's synchronicity coming in for a lot of people at this time. Also, iterations of 8, all right? And with that, we got 2 water, river. So yeah, I mean, the waterfall is the river, you know, pours into the waterfall. And that's what leads to the source, and vice versa. You know, sometimes there's rapids and you have waterfalls, and then the river flows on. Where does the river take you? The river takes you to the source. The river takes you to the source, and one chapter ends as that is all integrated, and you go through the transformation, and then you're in that cauldron of rebirth, and then you come out again. the great bard Taliesin, and you head on down the road to something new. Oh, and I didn't even see this there. And you have the strength to do it. You have the courage to do it. Transformation point. Leo season still coming through. It's imminent. 7 of Earth. You're going to get your directions for due north. They're going to be coming in here. You're going to have that chariot come in. See, this is the transformation that's underway and the path that leads one to their North Star, where they're meant to be. That's going to line up here pretty soon. Your compass is coming in, right? So this is about finding the coordinates, but that's not going to happen right away. That's not going to happen right away. But it will be very clear by the 7th of September with the harvest moon in Pisces. Then you'll know what that hermit needs to do. What journey of transformation needs to be taken up to arrive at that north node of Pisces, to have that full completion, that full transformation here. But this is already set, man. It's like the sun's going to go down and the sun is going to rise, you know? It's just the ending of one chapter, one phase, and the story continues here. It's just, we look at this point where there's a plot twist and where the protagonist is issued the challenge. Do you have what it takes to rise? You know? Some are trying to figure that out. That's what creates that sort of hangman state. I'm not sure. Do I have what it takes? All right, so that's a big key there. Do you? Ask yourself that. Do you have what it takes? And if you think you don't, well, where'd you get that idea that you don't? Okay, cut of the deck. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I mean, Fetch says you do have a way to retrieve your power here. You do got some spiritual assistance here. King of Earth comes through again. Yes, you do. You do have a way to take this new beginning, this new opportunity in hand to pass through that stargate. Be loyal to yourself. Be loyal to your dream. Be loyal to your vision. Take up that one and activate the change through your will. Earth family, Earth sun. Yeah, you may have to head through some tricky territory, but it's going to just reveal to you the subconscious parts of yourself that have been tripping you up. You'll get your medicine bundle along the way. Often what sets things in motion is just being willing to go through the journey of transformation, and then the places it takes you, oh, that's the ride of a lifetime. Anything else I want to bring in here? Do I feel called to anything else? Do I feel called to anything else here? I think I want to get a white light oracle, okay? Usually it has like a healing process included, so we'll bring that in. What's on the bottom of the deck? Ooh, yes, look. Look at that energy there, magnetism of arrows comes in with number 1 again. So yes, this is an alchemical point here. There's magic happening. We got a little conjuncto action going down. Okay, so there is a transformation underway. Let's get a little bit of a clue about what is this path that comes in for the collective here with the new moon in Virgo on the 23rd. It's only a few days away. So I feel like there's going to be a lot to tune into here over the next few days, but there is this piece, like, take responsibility for what you're tuning into and what you're choosing to align with, and understand when it's time to sort of get yourself recalibrated here, because there's something tricky here about something you're taking in or something you're focusing on, or a point of reflection, or something that's just become habitual, that's not doing you any favors. And a little adjustment here, maybe to bring in some fresh energy, would be very beneficial in closing out this old cycle and getting ready to step into a new frequency. Coming in with that new moon in Virgo. Get a little sip here. All right, bottom of the deck here. Yes, Pearl of Sharo. So see, there is a transformation underway. We see that serpentine medicine coming in the direction of the south. The point of walking through the fire of transformation, giving over the parts of ourselves that were never authentically who we are, but projections that we internalized, and offering those things upon the pyre of transformation and using them as a source of kindling for our self-knowledge, our awareness. This is imbibing a bit of the poison to arrive at the cure, but now it's the point of really moving into that creative force of the energy. Really beautiful. There's a pearl of wisdom that you're bringing forward from this too. There is something you're retrieving. There's a bit of your power that you're retrieving here, but you're not just meant to retrieve it. I mean, once you retrieve it, once the fetch helps you retrieve it, you're meant to use it and set it in motion. So there's something that's going to come in here to let you know what path you need to set this in motion upon. Give us a clue about that. What path are we meant to awaken? Ooh, that can, wow. Ooh, I got chills. Look at this. This is such a doorway of potential. It's the cosmic egg of creation. We have karma of Kutuhala. Wow. That's that phoenix rising energy. It's going all the way up to the north node. It's the Thunderbird activation. It's the cosmic egg of creation. I also see Ankh energy here. And it is, for me, evoking the energy of both the Eye of Horus and the Eye of Ra. And the Ankh as the bridging point between both hemispheres of the mind. Both hemispheres, aspects of the consciousness. Also, it's like avatar energy coming on board here to activate a seed of creation and its cosmic potential on Earth. Comes in with the number 7. It's a vehicle of transformation. Something's transformed here. Something's about to go through a radical transformation that's going to allow you to open up a road that it's time for you to step on. It's in alignment with your purpose. There's something that you are meant to rise up to here. There is a rising up out of the ashes, a rising up out of the fire test of truth. There's alignment here. There's moving through that stargate. It's a beautiful energy. This is a karmic cycle that's been closed, and it brings movement forward here. But let's go ahead and read about this, and we'll get the healing treatment in so it can sort of open up this energy for us as we head on up to that new moon. Oh, I had a card in here. I didn't even realize I had a card in here. What card is this? Remember I said number 8 as well. Look at that. We got 888 Lionsgate. Is that where we're heading? Is that what we're committing to? Yes, we're committing to that journey that fulfills itself on 8/8 of 2026, which will be the other 8 there. It's also, you know, Lion's Gate is Ishtar's gate. We brought her in, that star that's in that star card. It is Ishtar's star. So this is that journey of transformation. You're ready to rise up into the Inanna energy, the Queen of the Heavens energy. That's really beautiful. Be crowned by your star, the fulfillment of what is now a potential. It's sort of like this is your test. This is your test. Do you have the heart? Do you have the valor? Do you have he of the fiery sword of fairy that gives you the courage to activate the change needed to step into the sovereignty that can pull the sword from the stone, that stone of destiny? I love this. This is beautiful energy. Look at it. Total alignment with purpose here. There's a star again, right at the throat of the lion there. Opening of Sahasrara as well. A lot of action going down at the crown. right? So this is something to be very mindful of. I've been having a really interesting repeat theme coming up in my dreams where I keep seeing people show up in my dreams where their hair is receding, right? To the point where their crowns are exposed. And I'm like, this is a really interesting message that keeps coming in. And I sat with it and I was like thinking about what is the message here. And first of all, you know, the hair is an extension of the nervous system. And in many indigenous cultures, the hair is considered to be a direct link, a direct connection to spirit itself. And so it made me think about how the nervous system really suffers as a result of being online too much, tapping in through technology too much. It is hard on the nervous system. It can really fry out the ether and air quality. It fries out vata. It makes the mind very restless. It makes it difficult to sleep. And also, you, of course, get the programming there. And so it made me think about, with all that, just not bringing about that balance. And we've been talking about this a lot lately, but not bringing about that balance between technology and nature. It is sort of like causing people to lose that connection with their higher consciousness, with their source of spiritual nourishment, with their own independent thought and guidance. And that there's also a vulnerability there, because when you hand it over to the programming or to the algorithm, then you can get sort of in a space where if you're taking in this stuff repeatedly, like for example, the way we opened up with the whole like gang stalking stuff, then it can start to make you tap into that frequency, and then you start thinking you're gang stalked, you know? It moves you into more of a paranoid rather than a state of feeling that there's more things that are sort of working in your favor or working for you. And it's really true with that devil card, because that's like that tricky aspect. All you see is all there is. So if you're continually fixated on certain perspectives, then you will see more of that. But as you start to shift your perspective in different ways, even if it's just entertaining that, well, let me question that. Like maybe it's not true. Maybe I actually have like a lot of people around me that are allies, and a lot of people who believe in me, and a lot of people who support me. And even if you don't think you have many people like that, if you start looking for those people, start challenging yourself to spot those people, you'll find more of them. It really is true, okay? So this piece wanting to come in. We also have, 44 here again. So this is big synchronicities to pay attention to. 444, 44, 88, 888, these numbers coming in. Also, sevens coming in to highlight that this is the transformation point. This is a point where there's a bit of mysticism merging with the mundane that provides the vehicle forward, okay, to some kind of transformation here. That's funny that was there, and I forgot that I'd used that as a placeholder. Okay, so let's go ahead and read about karma of Kudahala. Your sacred soul passion is powerful enough to shift the state of your inner reality and your outer experience. So commit to what truly ignites your heart, and do not be dissuaded by anything or anyone. If you are seeking to make a commitment, do so when it truly connects you to your heart. Follow your genuine, meaningful bliss. Know that no matter what appears to be, you shall prevail, you shall arise. Kudahala is a Sanskrit term that translates as that which excites wonder. Even if it doesn't seem like it will lead us anywhere practical, following our bliss can allow for something beautiful and deeply fulfilling to unfold. We often pursue what is sensible and secure, yet what could be more appropriate or divinely and delightfully inappropriate than pursuing a path so intoxicating, so fascinating, so utterly mesmerizing to the spirit that no matter what challenges arise, You feel so much love and commitment and passion, you shall not turn away. It is. It's a test of commitment to the path. It really is. Just because something's challenging doesn't mean it's not worthwhile. Just because you encounter some blockages doesn't mean that it's not worthy of exploration. You know, sometimes you're being asked to rise to a challenge. You're being asked to transform something, and you're also being asked at the same time, do you feel enough passion for this that you are willing to take up that effort to shift the perspective, to transform this aspect of yourself, to really make a commitment to the growth on offer? I mean, it's a good calibration point, actually. That is the stuff of potential greatness, absolutely. We might call it being led by our hearts. Kutuhala is permission to do just that. The shadow side, or unconscious pursuit of Kutuhala, is seen when we chase our bliss in such a way that nothing genuine ever gets a chance to mature. We might be lured by greener grass and chase after every new possibility like a butterfly flitting from place to place. I love how it brought the butterfly medicine in. This doesn't involve the heart, but rather the restless mind, which acts from fear and avoidance rather than using passionate devotion as its foundation. I love how it's expanding off the download we already got in here, so that's beautiful when that happens. The commitment that emerges out of true Kutuhala is not about clipping one's wings, but about growing them and learning how to fly skillfully. Without commitment, one takes the leap, tries to fly, fails, and rather than going through the process again and again until there is understanding that leads to mastery, master maker energy coming in, one tries to ride a bike. That came in recently, that's so funny. Or surf, dance, teach, heal, or innumerable other things, never giving any chance to settle and evolve. There is inherent wisdom in Kutuhala. Let yourself be truly excited and inspired. Allow yourself to stumble, to not know, to become the holy mess that precedes sacred rebirth. When your attraction is deep and soulful, you will have the capacity to stay the course even through difficulties. Don't allow the ego to tell you that the struggle must be a sign a path isn't right for you and thus drive you away in search of a substitute paradise. The oracle of karma of Kutuhala can relate to those times when you are just discovering the path, feeling inexplicably fascinated by something and are encouraged to explore just what the true nature of that fascination could be. Then the karma of wonder is guiding us to fulfill the deepest longings of our soul and attain spiritual freedom in the process. We often think of karma as negative, but positive karma is our connection to guiding grace, the soul's delight that empowers us to live with joy and rapture. We can cultivate positive karma in the way we live our life, from the heart, with forgiveness, a sense of worth and gentleness in our hearts. This oracle guides you towards spiritual empowerment, your ability, even today, to create something positive, gracious, loving. What ways of being and which practices would enhance your ability to be a generator of positive karma this lifetime? Small steps can lead to great accomplishments when we stick to a path. Be patient in your passion, and you shall go far. This oracle encourages you to recognize that in its own inimitable way, spirit is practical. It just tends to go via the deliriously rapturous, astonishing, and deeply healing route. Trust what you love and let your heart lead you. You and your life shall become luminous, sanctified in the grace of alchemical transformation. An unexpected and miraculous arising is at hand. Let's do the healing process at 4029. Take a moment to connect consciously with your breath. Breathe in and out, slowly and deeply, allowing the breath to naturally lengthen, and perhaps even allow for pauses on each side of the inhalation and exhalation. Place a hand on your heart and say the following aloud. I call upon the heart of wisdom, of sacred passion and higher purpose. May I be graced with the discernment to recognize what is true, valuable, authentic, and genuinely purposeful in my life. May I release all else with a sense of humor and a willingness to recognize that I have learned something useful. I allow myself to be inspired rather than frightened by the passions of my heart. I choose to learn from what I love and be led through what inspires and excites me. I trust the passion in my heart is the same passion the universe has for me, and that the inspired, excited, curious feelings are cosmic breadcrumbs leading me along my rightful path. May all beings be guided lovingly to fulfill their highest divine destiny. Allow yourself to see, sense, or feel a light within your heart. It is playful, excited, and curious. When your mind or feet alight upon something relevant to your soul journey, your heart tingles with spiritual electricity. It lights you up from within, leaving you feeling as though anything is possible. And there is an endless path of creativity, beauty, sacred, and deeply healing and liberating for you to explore and share. Tune into that feeling. Know it is safe to trust it. When you are ready, place both hands at your heart and just acknowledge your own heart as being a beautiful and sacred instrument for which you are grateful. You have completed your healing process. So just see how attuning to that shifts things, brings about a different way of moving forward, moving through the experiences of your day. Try it out. And if you didn't indulge in that this go around, maybe try it tomorrow, starting your day like that. Just tuning in for that healing process and see how it shifts things. I feel like getting some numbers and getting some letters just to cap this off. 45, 22 on the clock. So yes, we are coming into alignment with our wisdom path, with our path of wizardry. There's a bit of magic here on offer, but we have to be able to recognize it in order to be able to retrieve it. If you don't recognize it, it'll pass you by. All right, some numbers of significance, Spirit. These can be life path numbers, dates of significance, astrological houses, birth dates, or any other way they may communicate. Sometimes I align them with the major arcana of the tarot. So we'll just see what comes through. Double sixes here. So life path 6 coming out real strong as moving forward here. Also, I see this as 2 aligning. Look, it's got like big 11-11 vibes there. So I'm going to bring that in. Life path 11, which would break down the life path 2. Also, synchronicity, letting you know when you're entering that portal of transformation, when there is a gateway of possibility, something that you can enter into there. Look for the number 1111 to show up as an important synchronicity, saying go that way, step into that opportunity. Also, we got double 4s here on the other side, okay, of that. 3, communication coming in as well. 8 energy. So again, the synchronicities of 4, 8. There is something that's coming to a close here, but on the other side of what comes to a close, there's a linking point, and there's a new beginning as well that moves us forward. Life path 4, life path 3, life path 7, life path 8 coming in here. Life path 14, temperance energy. Something's balancing out that moves us into expansion, balances out for 2. One path closes, or there's a segue in a storyline that leads to more to come here, okay? That breaks down 14 energy. Life path 5 coming in. We got the house of Virgo coming in here. We got the 10th house of Capricorn. We got the 3rd house of Gemini. Got the 12th house of Pisces. 8th house of Scorpio. Okay, so there's a lot of fixed energy that's moving into a mutable state. Things are shifting, things are changing, things are evolving here. The 12th of September will be a date of significance. The 11th and the 12th, actually, there's some kind of alignment that happens there that does give indication of what you're about to step into, and there is a culmination point. There is judgment that comes in with that harvest moon in Pisces on September 7th as well. That gets things moving. Okay, you do have the strength to rise above these challenges. 8, 9, 10, 11, justice. There will be justice. Things will be balanced out. Leo energy, Libra energy coming in there. Hangman energy on the move, no longer hung up. Decisive action. A bit of the mystery has been grokked. Some of the mystery has been understood. This moves one into actions. Got energy of Odin hanging from the Yggdrasil tree. I now can see it. I now can see where I need to go. Also, the sharing of what was learned there. It's meant to be shared. This keeps coming in. The vision's meant to be shared. You'll know how it's meant to be shared. Okay, this energy coming in. Sagittarian energy came in there as well. Cancerian energy came in. All right, let's get some letters here. See what else wants to come out. Bring in a little spirit board action, a little spirit Scrabble. See what messages come out. Remember, if your name shows up, it can come in for many different reasons. It may alert your intuition about someone, especially with other messages that come in association with it. It may come in as your name, you know, telling you, hey, pay attention. Like it's wanting to talk to you. There's a lot of important stuff rolling in this week, so pay attention. Pay attention. All right. It's interesting. I got fan came in, the first thing that came in. And when I think of fan, what my mind went to is like a ceiling fan, and then I thought about how fans are used in cinematography to sort of evoke a sense of mystery, like something's about to happen here, and that makes me think a lot about what came in recently in this download that we just brought in, about just being aware of how the algorithm is programming you, or certain things you're taking in are programming you. I mean, you can see it as intrigue, you can see it as something suspicious, or you can kind of flip that a little bit differently, and you can view it more lightheartedly with humor and think of it more as like the mystery machine, you know, bring in a little bit of that sort of like more playful, kind of like Scooby-Doo energy around it, you know. You already have the answers to whatever mystery you're trying to solve here, so you don't need to get kind of wrapped up in stuff here, okay? You can look at things from a different perspective. I got Ted. Ted came in here, okay? There might be something around a TED Talk. Somebody may be called to do a TED Talk. This may be, you may have something that you've dropped, a bit of the mystery, and you're meant to share what you've learned through a TED Talk, or maybe some kind of public speaking coming in. Also, I just think of that energy that came in with Ted on the download. You know, somebody wants in. Somebody wants in. Right. See what else we got here. I got soap. Makes me think soapbox. Somebody's on a soapbox. You may feel that something's a bit of a soap opera, right? Got Associated Press coming in here. There might be some significant release coming out through the Associated Press this week. That's interesting. Might have something to do with somebody who's missing. I got like missing in action, MIA. Not sure what that's about, but that feels a little bit more macrocosmic coming out there. I got B, just B, okay? Just B. Don't get so easily swayed by everything that you take in around you. Be at the center of your own energy, right? I got Eve coming in here, the name Eve. It also makes me think, take a bite of that apple, you know, partake of the self-knowledge here. Start forming your own impressions of things. That's interesting. I got the name Luigi, so that's very strange. I wonder if there's a connection with that and the MIA. Just saying, it came in pretty close. Okay. Anything else that wants to come in here for the collective? Any other names? Anything else that wants to come in? No, that's about it. Okay, so it seems like that's really what wanted to come through there. So there might be, that might have come through. It's sort of like, I got DA here too. So there's something that's going to be coming in relation to something going on the world stage. We might be on the eve of it, like something that's going to come in pretty soon. I got Massachusetts coming in here as well. Might be something that goes down in Boston in relation to this. Also got Tennessee out here. All right. Also, number 10 coming in, Wheel of Fortune energy, something about to transform, something in relation to a best friend, okay? Could be a Capricorn in connection with that. I think of the 10th house. Might be seeing something about a best friend, former best friend. I got Facebook here for those of you who are on Facebook. Personally don't have anything to do with anything Meta is attached to, but for those of you on Facebook, you might be getting some news about a best friend, somebody you haven't seen in a while. It's illuminating in some way. I don't know what this is, but this is coming in again. SUV. There's something about an SUV, something of significance there. Maybe an SUV being impounded. That's what came in last time around that. It's showing up again, so there's something there. There might be something about an SUV you keep seeing in your area, and you might have suspicions about this or something. Got South Carolina coming in around that, all right? Ohm it out, man. Just ohm it out, okay? Try to stay calm. Mo, that's funny how it showed up like that when I held it to the screen. Try to stay calm, Mo. Everything's going to be just fine, okay? It's all going to be all right. Don't worry about it. Name Marley. Could be connected in some way in relation around this. I got the net, okay? There's definitely something going on online in relation to this, so I don't know. Pay attention to stuff going on online. There's going to be some interesting stuff rolling out here, I think. I see like some significant press releases here, right? Stay connected. Don't believe the hype. Be a free agent of your own mind, and you'll get where you need to go. We'll all get there together. We just have to remember to keep our independent thought.